Live on YouTube's. Oh shit.
And YouTube. There you go. That's a great way to start us off here. Jacob cussing.
Me
Thank you,
saying, oh
Jacob.
shit.
Yes.
Nice.
It's the first thing that everybody heard, Jacob. Thank you so much. But
Good.
YouTube, thank
Good.
you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully we're gonna have some folks pop in. As you can see, we've been hyping it up last 48 hours or so. We do have a special guest coming on with us tonight. Casey Gasson. Gasson or Gasson? I can't. I want to Gasson. Okay, I want to make sure I say it right. Casey Gasson will be joining us. He's a keeper, and I believe you said earlier, you said he's a coach now for the New Mexico Runners.
So Casey is the goalkeeper for the Omaha Kings.
Okay.
While we wait for the New Mexico Runners to get back up and running.
All right.
And then he's also a player coach for the Runners.
All right, there we go. So Casey Gasson, professional soccer player. We're going to have him join us on the show. We're going to break down some X's and O's tonight. A lot of stuff to get to. We're going to break down, obviously, the Phoenix Rising match. And so before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying the content here on the channel, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That way you get notifications when we do go live. We try to be our best to be here 9:30 p.m. every Tuesday night and to talk about all the latest with New Mexico United and, other stuff from around the league and the world of sports. I know we've had a busy week. I was on the morning mix this morning. It's been a long day. I had a great conversation with Josh this morning. So we talked Afghanistan. We talked hashtag Troy out. And we talked the mayoral race here in Albuquerque. So lots of fun on that. Go check out. I believe check it out. I've got the recording. I'll throw that up on our feed here probably tomorrow, in case you guys want to listen to that, or you can check it out on radio.telabq.com. So yeah, busy week. We're gonna kind of shoot the shit here for a few minutes while I wait for Casey to join us, and once he does, we'll get right into our show. And I cannot wait for tonight's burning question, guys. I can't wait. I got a great question for y'all. I think it's very relevant, and I can't, especially Jacob. I can't wait to see get Jacob's answer to it. So
I think that makes me nervous. Pretty sure it makes me nervous.
Well, before we, while we're just hanging out, what do you think about Diego Rossi getting signed over to Europe?
To the Turkish league?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I haven't seen details. I saw that they were in talks, but I didn't see if it actually went through yet or not. I've been kind of busy tonight. So, but I've never been a big Rossi fan.
Okay.
I've always thought he was slightly overrated, and I feel like we probably should have sold him when he was worth a little bit more. So I'm okay with it. I think Rodriguez, I don't know if you guys saw that play on Saturday in El Trafico, but that goal was filthy. And I think that if he's always shown, he's kind of like Armando to an extent. Like, you see the talent, you see that he could be great. He just hasn't quite got there, and then maybe that'll spark him and he'll take off. Scoring a brace against Galaxy is kind of a big deal for LAFC players, so maybe that'll spark him and we won't miss Rossi.
Let me ask you,
does that though is a number 9? We've needed a number 9 since Diamande left, and even when Diamande was there, we needed one because he was hurt half the time. So that's really if we can get a 9 and have Rodriguez and Vela as the other two up top on the wings, then maybe we can turn this season around and at least make the freaking playoffs.
Let me ask you, does that matchup actually matter this season? LAFC, LA Galaxy, does that matter this year?
I think so. I think it's always going to matter at least a little bit. Maybe not like it doesn't feel as big to me, without Vela playing, without Chicharito this year, without Zlatan. It kind of lost a little bit of hype going into it, but then you watch it and you're like, oh, these teams, every time they play, no matter who's out there, it's a insane match. It just always is back and forth and just kind of crazy. And I think if you're a Galaxy fan or a LAFC fan, it matters a lot, no matter what. Like kind of like if El Paso wasn't on top of the league right now, if they were, fighting like we are, to us, I don't think it would. I don't think if you asked one of us, it would be, oh, does it even matter? We'd be like, hell yeah, it matters. It's fucking El Paso. I hate El Paso. Whereas, I'm pretty sure my dog is dreaming under the bed. I don't know if you guys are picking any of that up.
No, I can't hear it.
But he's like yipping. Anyways.
Speaking of El Paso, sorry to interrupt. Harry's in the chat now. Congratulations, Harry. You guys picked a well-deserved win on Saturday night against El Paso. So congratulations to you guys.
Watch. This is what's going to happen. Jerry's going to come in the chat and he's going to be like, oh, yeah, we threw that game to screw New Mexico. So that's what we did. That's all. That had nothing to do with talent. We just wanted to see New Mexico farther out of the playoff race, so we gave it to them.
Yeah. I can see Jerry doing something like that, but
I'm not gonna lie, if I was Jerry, I would totally come in with that take. Even though I know it's bullshit, I would still come in with that take just to piss Earl off, basically.
Yeah, there were some fun matches this weekend.
It's not gonna take that to piss me off today. Trust me.
I feel like Earl is kind of like the Hulk, and his secret is just that he's always angry. He just hides it well.
I'm actually the happiest dude alive.
Until United comes along. And then you're like, oh, Hulk smash.
No. Until the birthday boy comes along. And then I'm just like, fuck this.
I still think you have to blame Coach a little bit for that. Like, I understand he's a shit player, at least in our opinion.
So hold on.
Troy's the one that keeps playing him. That's my biggest gripe with Troy, is that he keeps playing fucking Guzman.
Yeah, trust me. I watched the match like 3 times already, back to back.
Jesus, how do you guys have lives? What the hell? I've tried to rewatch it and get like 5 minutes in and then get interrupted.
See, I have 2 hours off on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And you don't have kids. That's probably part of it.
Yeah, that's the big part of it. No kids.
It's this really cool thing that the state calls fatness and wellness.
Okay.
Where I'm supposed to be working on like my mental health or my fitness, but instead
he's just torturing himself with the New Mexico United match.
Exactly.
He just has to watch it to feel something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I watched it, and it literally took me a whole 5 minutes to see JPG slouch off.
Well, okay, so you understand that it's
I don't want any kind of bullshit. I don't want any kind of bullshit from you tonight. I don't want to fucking hear it. Get off the JPG fucking birthday boy birthday cake.
No, I just want to point out one thing. If you watch any soccer player during a 90-minute soccer match, they are going to take it easy every once in a while.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
Hey, Earl, do you feel the same way if LeBron picks a playoff?
Absolutely. But here's the thing.
There's timeouts in basketball. Fuck that. LeBron should not be taking time off. Soccer, though, is nonstop.
Hold the fuck up.
Can I play? You want to watch me play soccer? Me playing soccer is me sprinting 10 yards and then standing still for 5 minutes.
But you're not getting paid however fucking much money JPG makes.
They don't get paid that much, though.
It took JPG 5 minutes into the match to find himself sucking air on the back line, having nothing to do.
But the best thing about you and JPG, the only thing that has ever come out of it that I thought was hilarious was when you sent the clip of Freighter's goal against Colorado, and JPG is literally standing at midfield with the game on the line, hands on his knees, hunched over like he's going to die. And I'm like, that would be me out there for sure. It should not be him.
And I'm not saying that's not me.
And this was 2 years ago.
It took 5 minutes.
One of these days,
And
we're
not
gonna.
even. I think they're still in like the 4th minute that he started like slowly falling back.
One of these days, we're gonna reach out to David. We're gonna get JPG on the show, and we're gonna let you talk to him.
Oh, by all means, by all means. Which, with my luck, we get JPG on, and I turn into like glimmering fanboy.
You just might. I think we do. I think we owe that, confrontation to the fans.
I swear, I am preparing that question for Troy on Saturday. I cannot wait.
Can we get you to wear the ESPN 107 or 1017 The Team radio badge so that they don't think you're from Somos? just want to distance ourselves just a little bit, just in case we actually get a player on this thing.
So I have a whole week to figure out how to ask it professionally.
Oh, okay, good. And then we're gonna get in front of Troy, and you're just gonna be like, "Coach, why does Guzman suck, and why do you keep playing?"
And I want this. I want this to happen in a game where JPG like scores 2 bangers or something.
I don't think JPG has that in him.
Probably not, but I want to see it happen. Josh, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. We are waiting for Casey to log in, and then we'll get going with the show proper. Had a blast on the show this morning, man. Glad you're here with us.
Yeah, Josh, Seth's been on your show like 6 times, and this is the first time you're in the chat. What's up with that?
Josh is a busy man. He's a family man
don't
now.
Listen to Jacob.
Josh is a family man. He's got
Josh, don't listen to Jacob.
He's got some Pee-wee football going on. He's a busy man.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, Saturday
He's trying to get in now. He just texted me he's ready, so I think he'll be here in a minute.
Yeah, he just got to hit that link there, and we'll be ready to go. But Saturday night's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting press conference. Did you guys get the audio from David the other night?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Or the video. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought David did well asking questions that weren't just like little softballs.
Yeah.
I feel like he actually put Coach on the spot a little bit, which was nice. Coach, of course, answered in the most politically correct way possible for the most part, but I appreciated the questions at least.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of notes from my watch throughs of the game, and so it's got a lot of stuff that we're gonna get into tonight. And I have a feeling I've got some questions for Casey that a couple folks aren't gonna like the answer to. So,
seeing as Casey is a keeper, I hope to God that you are going to have Casey just rip Earl to shreds about this stupid Tambakis coming out of his box take.
Nope, his name is not Tambakis. His name is Can't Block Shit.
Football practice at 9:30, Josh? Come on. Just say you're busy. I love you, Josh.
Yeah,
Josh, we still need to get a handball team together, by the way. Anyways,
I was gonna say, if you guys are gonna do a handball, I've got another sport you guys can try. It's called spike ball.
Now, spike ball is too much.
Spike ball is too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've played spike ball. There's a lot of running and diving, and yeah, I feel like I can hide on a handball team. There was this. Have you seen hurling?
Hurling? What is hurling?
Hurling. Dude, I don't know any of the rules, but it involves a little white ball and then a paddle. And it's some Irish sport that is absolutely insane. I saw one clip of it and was like, I need to learn about this, and I need to learn how to play it at least a little bit. If you could trade anyone in place of Sandoval, who would it be and why?
Oh.
I would trade Earl for Sandoval on this podcast.
Great question. Honestly, I would love to see one of the strikers from ATL2 they're both having a pretty good year. I'd like to see one of them potentially come out. I mean, there's some guys.
It's Haji fucking Berry, guys. Why are we? How is that even a question?
Yeah.
It's Haji Berry, and it's not close.
Yeah, no, Haji Berry's tearing it up. He really
Hey,
is.
Seth.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt. Can you send Casey the link again?
Yeah.
Or how about Brian Brown? I might do that even.
Never mind. He has it.
He's got it. Okay, good. Let me switch that back then. Oh, did we lose Earl? We lost Earl's voice.
No, he might have just muted himself.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Talking like Casey. Okay. Someone was speaking. Yeah, no.
Why do we have Charleston highlights playing?
I was changing the scene so that I didn't show Casey's email address.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big brain
Oh.
thinking right there.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Someone was absolutely, Harry. We do need pace up top. That has been our issue all season. One of our issues all season long. So that's hopefully we get something going on there.
See, I don't know if that would help. You know why? Because Brian Brown has pace, and we didn't use it.
Not enough.
We didn't use it.
He's not.
We never tried to use it.
He's not Haji Berry pacey. He's not
Nobody
Kevon
is,
Frater
though.
pacey. That's what we need.
Well, yeah, everybody needs that. There's not enough of those guys out there. Brown is at least faster than Sandoval by a lot. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised nobody has brought that up, Harry.
Harry has. Harry
I know
has.
what Harry has, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised that was it because I thought for sure as soon as that trade happened, people would be like, oh break the internet. Oh. And I would have to block them because I don't care. Yeah, it was. I don't think they used him how he wanted to be used, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
Because how I pictured them using him is not how he was used, and I think how he pictured being used is how I pictured him being used, and why I said he could have a chance at the Golden Boot or at least lead the team, and of course, that all went out the freaking window.
Yeah, there's some things to answer, to figure out, and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of questions, and I feel like we've been, at least from those of us that are not associated with the with the stations and the outlets that have call signs. I feel like we've been trying to ask those questions of coach and of the players, and trying to get some answers from them. So
No, I would never block you, Harry. I value your opinion way too much.
Yeah.
Jerry, on the other hand, I blocked Jerry in an instant.
I
Wait,
mean,
you haven't already?
Or what's his name? What's the Phoenix guy's name, Earl?
Vagina plaster.
Yes, there we go. He's already been blocked. He's been blocked for 2 years now.
yeah, speaking of blocking people, like I have not been on the Nation in 2 days, so
It's not that bad.
I just
Today.
I tried.
Today, anyways.
I tried looking at it. I can't deal with it and that's just something we'll talk about tonight too. Like I just, the toxicity has gotten bad, and there are memes on Reddit about it now too. Yeah. So
I feel like Reddit, maybe not New Mexico United Reddit, but Reddit in general is just, I don't understand it. I have a coworker, and that's all he does is just scroll through Reddit, and I just don't get it.
Reddit is one of those places where you've got to have a tough skin. You got to be able to do that. You got to throw out some memes. You got to throw out some.
Well, yeah, because everybody's anonymous, so they think they're all tough.
Yeah. I think Reddit, though, at least on the New Mexico United subreddit, I think there's been more civilized, so to speak, discussion about all of this. But, compared to the Nation, and I know, like, one of the moderators of the subreddit said the other day he was leaving the nation over the toxicity there.
That's because the nation is like, hey guys, I think maybe we should kind of look at Troy and see like if he's really the answer. And somebody hops in and goes, "Fuck your mother," and he's like, "Whoa." To quote Ron Burgundy, that escalated quickly.
Well, I think the thing and the meme on the USL Pro subreddit, it was like it was trying to portray the Troy out folks as being like all calm about it. And then like the people, saying that, if you're not loyal to the club and to Troy, they're like, you're not a real fan, and they're crying over it. I'm like, okay, while the one side is fairly accurate, portraying the Troy out as calm is far from the truth. So
it depends on who it is. Like if it's freaking Brennan Klein, he's like,
I think I have him. I think I have him blocked now.
No, dude, you should unblock him. He's freaking hilarious.
I can't.
If you don't take him seriously, he's hilarious.
Oh, we lost Earl. I can't stand him. It was him.
Down.
It was him and who's the other guy? The
one that
Carlos Gutierrez or
is
that his
Martinez.
Name? Martinez. I've got him blocked. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't care for him because he doesn't argue.
No,
he just says
it's just Troy out.
Troy out.
Yeah, Troy out over and over
That's
again.
it.
Yeah. And Harry's absolutely right. It's great to get major news stories, especially USL. Yeah, and that's where all of us independent media folks go, and we share our stories and talk about the league, and it's great. It's a great source for us, and Nicholas Murray's on there, and some of the other guys that cover the league are on there as well. So
I feel like Murray gets a bad rap sometimes. I like him. It's great. What bothers me though is that the USL has one guy to write about every match. So I don't blame him for watching the highlights and then writing what happened in the highlights, and that's his match notes. I mean, that's fine. It would help if the USL would like say, okay, we're going to play some games at 1 and some games at 3 and some games at 5 and then 8:30 or whatever the hell Phoenix plays at. But no, they're like, hey, we're going to stack 7 games at 5 o'clock on the East Coast. And we're going to give like 2 for 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then like 3 for 7 o'clock. And then 1 for 8:30.
Yeah, I don't get the scheduling, especially like, early in the season and late. Like in the summer, I get it because of the heat index in most places. Try to put them all at similar times. That way you're not, for player safety and all that kind of stuff. But I just, I don't get stacking them. I was wondering about that, Harry. I've been looking for that and I haven't seen anything. I was wondering what was going on with that. Is that Earl texting us?
Good question. I don't know. Is it? I don't have a text. Oh, yes, I do.
I'll be right on. Okay. All right. Hopefully Casey's not having issues, or maybe Earl's helping him out. So, hey, there's Casey.
That's the blind leading the blind. If Earl's helping Casey,
there's Casey. How you doing, Casey?
Doing good.
What's up, man?
He tells me to shut up because I heard what he said about blind leading the blind.
I hear his voice, but I don't see his head. I am so confused. Yeah. It is though, Earl. You just had problems 15 minutes ago. Well, 30 minutes ago.
Well, you see, my wife came in here and I was looking for a notebook for her. And when I opened the cabinet door,
Can you just stop talking and hop back on?
I'm doing, if you hear me typing,
All I hear is you talking. That's all I hear.
Oh my God, hang up on him.
Casey, welcome.
Oh, man.
I'll come there here in a minute.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, say again, bro. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, appreciate you being here. We know it's late, and we appreciate you being here. And the reason we do it so late is because Jacob and I are dads, and so we wait until after the kids go to bed.
That's exactly. So yeah, I was at work and the baby was getting rocked. So I'm a nearly dad. So
Nice, congratulations,
Nice.
man.
getting used to the hang of things.
Yeah. So
It gets better. It gets better.
One and only. That's what everybody says. Once he starts walking and feeding himself, it's a lot better. Back to normal.
Well, so the nights get better. the days get way more stressful because you got to keep an eye on them, and then they have like abundant energy. They never stop. I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they just go. They just go and go and go.
All right, Harry, have a good night, man.
I have. He's about to be 4 months on. 4th.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
That's
He was born on May 4th, and his name is Anakin.
Nice. Love that, man.
That's perfect.
He was actually supposed to be born on the 27th, and he already had his name picked out. And he waited till the 4th. I'm like, all right, well, it was meant to be.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's a trip, man. Like, you know, Jake and I both have younger kids, and you know, him talking about, you know, them having like an abundance of energy. Like mine played outside pretty much all day on Saturday. My boys are 9 and 6 now. Played outside pretty much all day, and then 9 o'clock come. You know, try to get the boys around 8 o'clock every night. And then 9 o'clock comes. My youngest is like, I'm not tired. I want to stay up. I want to watch soccer. I want to watch something with you. Like, you gotta go to bed. You gotta go to bed.
I'm probably gonna be really like, oh, all right, come and join me.
Oh, I don't mind. You know, it's just it's like, all right, dude. Like,
When he has to go to school, I'm gonna be on him, you know.
yeah.
It's nice when they like. It's hard. It was hard for me as the dad because you know when they're for mine anyways. They're still most of the time if they're energetic, but then they like want to take a small break. They go to mom and they lay down with mom. But at the end of the night, they know that I'm the sucker. So they'll come to me and they'll be like, can we watch one more episode? And they'll lay down with me and cuddle with me. I'm like, okay, fine. Because I don't get cuddles any other time. So that's the only time I get them.
Yep, exactly. He's definitely a mama's boy, let me tell you.
So where are you at now, Casey? Are you here in Albuquerque or are you?
I'm in Colorado Springs right now. So when the pandemic happened, before the pandemic happened, my lady moved to Farmington, and she was opening a Planet Fitness out there. So that's what
Oh, okay.
And the pandemic happened, and I moved with her to Farmington, and I was gonna stay out in Farmington, just kind of travel back and forth for the runner season last year, and then they closed down, and we didn't have a season, so we ended up moving to Colorado because we got she got pregnant, or we had a baby, and her family wanted us to be closer and wanted to help us out, so it was just like better off, and like, and you can still play soccer and not really stress out that much.
Yeah.
So we came out to Colorado Springs is where we're at. So anytime United comes out to play switchback, and I've been at every single game. And then
Nice.
I went to Salt Lake for a convention with my supplement company I'm sponsored by. I was out there, and they played that same weekend, so I went and watched them there as well. And then
Nice.
I went up like 3 weeks and watched. Like I never miss a game. The only one I missed was the Austin game. That's the only one I've missed all season.
Gotcha.
Because I was playing.
And did I see that the runners are going to try to start back up in December?
Yeah, so they're gonna start up in December. I think our tryouts will be in October, and then so whoever wants to try out can come and try out. It's a pretty cool experience.
Earl, there you go. You could try out to be keeper, and you could stay in the box.
I don't know if you heard you or not. What is he? What's going on with Earl? Earl's got to get back in here. But
He heard me. He's right there.
is he? Okay.
Yeah, he just talked to me. Oh, here we go again. All right, Earl, pop out, pop back in.
Gotta love that Moriarty internet. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That CenturyLink.
Yeah, you know, it's been interesting. So like we've been recording the show remotely this entire time, basically, you know, even because of COVID, obviously, and then, you know, Jacob and Earl live outside of town, and so we've just recorded remotely the entire time, and this has probably been our biggest hiccup is the internet connections that everyone has. So
So Earl just said he can't hear you, Seth, but I can hear both of you. And you probably don't even see him, do you?
I can't even see him. All right, hang on. I'm gonna reload the Zencaster window real quick, guys. So it might ask you to pop back in. It might not. So hang on.
It will.
There we go. I can see him now.
All right, there we go. I think we got everybody.
Yay!
Hey, all right. There we go. We have a full cast here tonight. All right. Everyone's here. We'll go ahead and get started. Oh, let me fix Earl. Earl looks terrible.
You can't fix that.
Yeah, that's not the camera.
So this is only the second time we've had 4 people on the show, and so I don't use this overlay too much, but there we go. I think we're good now. So all right, let's we'll take off those. We don't need those. All right, we're good to go. All right, so Casey, here's the deal. I'm gonna introduce the show real quick. We'll introduce you. We'll ask you what you're up to. What you're up to these days, and then we'll get into the show. We're gonna break down the Phoenix match. We usually start the show. I've got one burning question I ask the guys, so we'll get their answers. If you want, feel free to answer yourself as well, and then we'll get into it. And we'll ask you some X's and O's type stuff. And I think I've got a question that you're gonna just rip Earl apart on. So
I hope so, anyways.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm waiting for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the occasional sports story from around the world. My name, of course, is Seth Benoff. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We've got some folks in the chat tonight here on YouTube. Appreciate you being here, hanging out. As always, guys, if you're in the chat, you can throw up your questions and your comments. We will get to those. We'll talk to you guys throughout the show. Joining me tonight, we have, as always, Jacob Terrell and Earl Nieto, and we have a special guest tonight, Casey Gasson. Casey, some folks may know you from the New Mexico Runners, goalkeeper, and I believe you're also coaching as well now, correct?
Yeah, I'm still coaching, playing. Yeah, doing it all.
All right, very cool. We're glad to have you on. We appreciate you coming in. It's late, and you're a new dad. I think you're also playing. Jacob telling me you're also playing out in Omaha now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I signed a year contract with the Omaha last season to finish the season off. That was a pretty cool experience. They treated me like a king, so it was nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Again, we're very happy to have you. So tell us a little bit, we were talking before the show proper started about it. So when does the Runners season kick off, and how can folks come out and support them this year?
So we play at the San Ana Star Center out in Bernalillo, and the season starts in December. There'll be tryouts in October, so go follow the New Mexico Runners on Facebook, Instagram. They'll post the tryout dates, the cost, and all that good stuff. And whoever thinks they can play, come out and try out. But I'm very excited. We took it last season off because obviously of COVID, but I know a lot of the guys are itching to play, so I'm very excited this season. I think we'll have a really good shot. So.
Yeah, I know we've got some folks in the community that are huge Runners fans, and I haven't had the chance to get out there to a match. I'm going to get out there this season hopefully and see you guys in person. And so as we get into our show this evening, I do have one burning question for the guys here tonight. Did your team do enough on deadline day to make a difference this season?
Oh, okay. I was wondering where you were going with that.
Like the New Mexico Runners?
Yes, exactly.
We had a little hiccups. I mean, I don't think we did what we needed to. I mean, we had an okay season, but I think we could have done better as a team, including myself. I wasn't really in the shape I should have been. But yeah, you learn, you learn. I know we're all excited to play this season, so it'll probably be the best season we'll have.
Very
Casey,
cool.
do you have a Premier League team or?
Yeah, I'm a big Liverpool fan.
Oh, that's a dagger, man. Oh.
Yeah.
So you didn't do much then this deadline.
No, we didn't. Yeah. I wish we would have bought some, but we really didn't spend money.
Yeah, so Earl, I know you're not a huge Premier League fan, but you do follow Frankfurt. Did Frankfurt do anything today? Did they make any big changes?
Frankfurt does nothing.
Yeah, Frankfurt doesn't have any money to spend, much less any skill to drop people in. So no, they did not do any major big splash.
All right, Jacob. Spurs had some controversy this offseason, potential players leaving, and I know Serge Aurier was released today, or they agreed to a termination of his contract. I mean, how did the Spurs do today?
Well, I think they were able to release him, mutually terminate his contract, whatever you want to say, because they did sign a 22-year-old from Barcelona, Royal Emerson. I don't know much about him. I kind of follow Tottenham, and the Premier League a little bit, and then once you get outside of that, there's just too much soccer. There's just too much soccer in the world to really keep up with every single name out there. So I hear good things about him. I love Serge, but he scared the crap out of me every time the opposing team had the ball in the box, because you just assumed he was going to roll in and take somebody out and have a penalty. So I'm excited there. But the biggest news with Tottenham is that they didn't get rid of Harry Kane, and Harry Kane seems to have bought back in and wants to be there at least for this year, or at least has accepted the fact that he's going to be there and is wanting to help the team. So, 3-0 so far, top of the table, and it probably isn't going to get better from here by any means, but I think we're going to at least compete for the top four. I don't think
better chance than Arsenal though.
Oh yeah, Arsenal's going to have a tough time staying up. David Carl, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, brother, but it is a tough time to be an Arsenal fan. But if I know of several Tottenham fans that have taken pictures of the table right now, and probably will have it framed and hung up on their wall, because it is a beautiful sight seeing Tottenham on the top and Arsenal way down on the bottom. So I'm happy. What about you, Seth? You guys do anything? You guys do anything?
Not so much today. We did sign Solomon Rondon to a contract today. So, he's coming in on a pretty cheap wage bill, pretty cheap. I think he might have come in on a free. So, he's going to be a good player to slot in there. He's played for Rafa before. So I think he's going to be a good guy to stick up top, help support DCL a bit. And most of our transfer stuff came earlier in the preseason. And so, we signed Begovic in goal. He's probably not going to see a whole lot of time, so not a big deal, not a big signing there. But we did bring in a couple of guys. Damari Gray has been fantastic so far through the first few matches of the season, so excited to see what he can do. I'm glad we got rid of Moise Keane finally. I hate the fact it's a 2-year loan deal, but he didn't do anything for us, and so I'm glad to get that wage bill off there. And then I thought James Rodriguez was going to go out, and then I guess a deal fell through with Porto at the last minute from sending him to prevent him from going there, and us getting Luis Diaz back in return. So, a pretty quiet day for us, but I think we made some moves earlier in the preseason and earlier in the transfer window that I think are going to pay off for us this year. So.
I mean, today was pretty quiet all around. I think, he had some major moves, but it's always going to feel quiet today when you had Messi move, Ronaldo move, the Kane drama, all that stuff was settled a week ago or so. So today was always kind of going to just come and go, I think, but it was a crazy deadline, or at least a crazy window for sure. There's a dog, and it's not Milo. What the hell?
You see, Milo follows my schedule, and it's way past his bedtime, so he's
That's fair.
already asleep.
That's fair.
All right.
So I appreciate the question, but Casey's not here to talk Premier League or anything like that. Casey's here to talk New Mexico United, and I really want to get his opinion on some things.
Yes.
So let's get into this.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get into here. New Mexico United did, of course, fall to Phoenix Rising FC by a final of 3-2 on Saturday night from Wild Horse Pass. First time New Mexico United and Phoenix have played since last season, when New Mexico United lost 5-2. And we went into this.
Hey, we're improving.
Yeah. We went into this knowing that there were going to be some goals scored. That was our impression of what was going to happen. Because that's just the way the series has been. These teams just play each other hard. They put a lot of shots on goal. They score a lot, and most of them have come down to the wire. Now, looking at Saturday night, there were some good things, there were some bad things, and I want to start with Casey. Casey, obviously you do play professionally. You see a lot of different tactics and things, throughout your career. What's something that you see New Mexico United doing, and in particular on Saturday night, that you feel like they were doing really well against a strong Phoenix side?
I mean, I feel like they were pressing the team like they should be, and people have been like the biggest thing. My thing is they've been asking coach for wins, and that's what he's been going for. He like, yeah, we score and he wants to park the bus. People say he should park the bus, but I don't think he should do that. What he's doing is the right thing. And the reason I say that's because he's trying to win games. He's not trying to tie. He's tired of tying. You can tell that. So he's trying to press. And sometimes you got to gamble. Sometimes it's a 50-50. And maybe, what if we would have scored that third goal? Oh, he's the best coach. You know what I mean? It could have gone either way. But I think his system very well, and I understand what he's trying to do. But it's just not finishing it. It's happening.
Yeah, and that's been one of the common complaints that we've seen this season is that the team just isn't finishing. There's not that final touch there in the attacking third. We're not being 100% consistent throughout the match defensively. And one of the things that I noticed, particularly in the lead up to Phoenix's first goal, they scored off that counterattack from the set piece. What I noticed was 2 slide tackles by Andrew Tenari and David Najan that both just missed. Like they weren't even close. Now, for me in that situation, I think it wasn't necessarily the right choice in that situation, and it allowed Phoenix to go on the break and have numbers going forward, and they were able to spread and keep our guys who have been playing pretty compact from having an opportunity to react to those runs. And so, Casey, from your perspective, is that in that run of play right there, would it have been a smarter move for one of those guys, JPG or David or Tenari to commit a tactical foul in that area to stop that counterattack?
Yeah, either do a technical foul, like you said, and you're going to get a yellow, but you save them from getting a goal. Not just committing right away, just kind of pretending to commit them to the touch and then either foul him and not get a yellow and do a smart foul that way, or just, you know what I mean? But you're right, they should have not both did. But during the heat of the moment, at the moment, I just need to get that ball, and you're not really I understand where they're coming from, but in our point of view, it's like they should have not done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something that we saw throughout the night in terms of Phoenix's play, especially in the second half. They showed a lot more pace, and they were handling our width on the defensive side a lot better. And Earl, this question is for you. When you look at the play of certain guys like JPG or Alex Tambakis, there's some of the complaints that we've seen this year are that
you set this one up.
are that they're out of position or they're not making smart decisions. And in our text after the match, you were saying that Tambakis at one point, there was no reason at all for him to have come off of his line as far as he did. And that was
yes. Yell at him, Casey. Yell at him.
Yes.
I think he's
all right.
Yes.
He's not what we had last year, but you gotta think he's a brand new guy to a brand new team, to a brand new system. It's gonna take him, like Menzel when he first started. Everybody was on him, like, oh, he's not that good, and then he started watching him a little bit, and then he became a guy, and then he became with this, and then he grew. You know what I mean? And then as a goalkeeper, you come to a new team, new system, new players. Like it's totally hard. Like when I went to Omaha, I had to adjust to the way they play because they play totally different than the runners would play. You know what I mean? So it's hard to adapt. And I don't know. You can't really criticize the goalie, man.
You can if your name is Earl, because he has all season, and we try to tell him. We tell him over and over again that you have to come off your line sometimes to make plays, and so that I'm happy with Casey.
Just think about it. If he doesn't come off his line, that goal to the forward looks massive. If he comes out bigger, he at least gives him at least a 50-50 chance that he's gonna miss it, or that he messes up and shanks it. Like he has to do it. It's part of his job. Like, come on. I can't believe you're criticizing
Oh,
this is why you're on, Casey. This was reason number one. After so we mentioned it the other day, and then there was literally a play where I think it was Santi. I'm not 100% sure.
56 minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Santi is basically the last man trying to run onto a ball, and Tambakis comes way off of his line, like way off, and boots the ball into the stands. And Earl goes, "Why do you do that? He came all the way off his line just to boot it into the stands." And we were like, "He had to. That was the smart play." So maybe he'll listen to you because he doesn't listen to us.
So when he does that, is so his defenders can get back and get set. He doesn't just to boot it. He's trying to get his defenders to get back and stop the counterattack.
So here's why I was so pushed back on that one. Because it wasn't 1v1.
Yes, it was.
We had a man chasing right next to Santi the entire freaking time. And
right
then
next to him, though.
Yes. And then
right next to him. All that Santi has to do is beat one guy, and then he's on.
So then, here comes Alex can't block shit out of the freaking nowhere.
He's still on it. Oh my gosh. Earl is doubling down. Doubling down. I love it, Earl. I love it. Get the Stephen A. Earl name up on Facebook because that's what he's doing right now, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, the guy's running behind him, but he's coming out so the defender's gonna have to foul him and get a red card. Because if at that point it's 1-on-1, the defender's like, I'm gonna either take him out, and he knows he's gonna get a red card, so the goalie had to come out to save him from getting a red card, and then they can set up again. Because at that point you get a little. You know how forwards are. They like to dive like Neymar. You give him a little touch, he's going to roll as many times as he can.
Especially Santi. Especially Santi.
The last man, the ref's not going to think twice. He's going to give him a red card. So that's why he came out with the bailout as defender.
This is a professional goalie right here, Earl. You need to at least listen to him, please.
That's what his mindset was. Like, I get what you're saying, but you got to think it as an actual. You're going, the guy's going to touch him. Like, you've seen forwards dive all the time. What's going to happen is the last man is the defender. So you're going to get a red card automatically, right? Because that's what we would be yelling, right? Exactly. So he was bailing out his defender, so he keeps him in the game. Anything else, Earl?
No. You know what?
man.
I'm good.
Can we bring Casey in on the group chat so that during the matches when you text us bitching about a play, Casey could be like, "What are you talking about, Earl? No. That was the right play. It was the right play to make."
Absolutely, we can definitely add Casey to the group text. We'll move on, and we all know that Earl is not a fan of JPG, and while he has not had a stellar season, I think we can all admit to that. He's had some mental mistakes. He's made some bad passes.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. He's not had a stellar 2.5 seasons.
This season has been by far the worst, though.
But carry on.
So he hasn't had a good season. We've seen the mental mistakes. We've seen the errors. We saw it in the El Paso match where they came back and scored 2 goals in a minute and a half. We saw it on Saturday night where, and this is another gripe that I've come from watching these past couple of matches is that, and I don't have very many. It's just, our clearing is terrible. Like, we don't clear the ball well. We cleared like the top of the box, and I'd say probably 60% of the time we give possession away immediately on clearances, and but JPG he made another error, gave the ball away in the final third that opened up the opportunity for Calistri and Phoenix to get that goal, and I can't figure out what's going on with JPG this season.
So I watched that play a couple times. I think Casey might agree with me. He's making a face like he's going to explode. And the more I watch it, the more I'm like, I don't know if that was Guzman's fault there. Schmidt like rocketed it to him, and I don't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not in Juan's head, but I don't think he was trying to one-touch that to somebody else. I think it just caught him off guard. But either way, I'm with you on the Juan Pablo Guzman situation for the most part. But Casey, talk before you explode over there.
I don't think they're good.
You don't?
No, I think it should be a sub and not a starter.
Okay. All right. See, these are just validating my thoughts as somebody who started watching soccer like 3 years ago. Because I've thought the same thing since year one. We all have. Well, at least me and Earl. Seth is kind of a robot. He doesn't talk much.
He's technical, but he's a little too technical on the ball. And he always loses the ball. Like, if you notice, like he loses the ball all.
Oh, we've noticed.
Mid,
Yeah.
Number 10, you don't want him to losing the ball as much as he does. I think there's other players who can play that.
And to me, it's his passing though. The one that sticks. Yeah.
Losing the ball,
Yeah.
passing it to the other team.
Yeah.
Quite often, he's like, "Oh, here you go. You want a gift? There you."
The one that sticks out to me and will stick out to me for
Prodigy.
years to come. No, it was against Colorado Springs, but it didn't actually lead to a goal somehow. But it was basically he was trying to pass the ball back to Ryden and single-handedly started a fast break where I think it was Nagila.
And
He
Nagilina.
He just passed it right to him in stride, and the Colorado Springs player just took it, and Tambakis comes out and makes a fantastic play.
One-on-one.
Off of his line, comes off of his line, Earl, and makes a fantastic play to stop it. Otherwise, he was probably
How far his line did he come off?
probably close to the penalty spot. So what is that?
Okay.
12 yards? 12
So
yards?
he was still within his penalty box.
Well, he was inside the 18. Yes, you complain when he comes a step outside of the 6.
Dude, you would hate me
Well-
playing goalie. I play almost to the half. Like, I'll go at least out of my 18 into the middle. So in case of a long ball like that, it goes, I'm there to block it and come so it brings everybody's back.
I love this. I love every second of this. But anyways,
Like, why would you want to make your defenders run more than they're already running? Like, that's my thought process as a goalie. Like, I'll play as high as I can, and then once they start noticing that I'm coming off my arm, then I'll still a bit back. But that gives your defenders some time to rest as well.
but by the way, if Tambakis doesn't make that stop on that particular play, everybody is losing their mind against Juan Pablo Guzman. And for whatever reason now, like nobody talks about him. Nobody complains about him. Like, I don't know if Casey, if you're in the New Mexico United Nation on Facebook or anything like that. I know, I roll for sure. But like everybody complains about this and that and the other. And very rarely does Guzman's name come up. And I don't understand why. But had that play ended in a Colorado goal, people would have lost their shit against Guzman. And it's going to get overlooked and forgotten by a lot of people because Tambakis made a great save. But that's the one that I'm just like, how do you make that pass? As a professional soccer player, how do you think, oh, this is a good idea, and pass it right to a Colorado Springs player in stride? Like, I don't know if you guys watch football, but there's a lot of talk about Jameis Winston getting LASIK and becoming a new quarterback here, a brand new guy. I'm wondering if he needs LASIK. I'm really wondering if Guzman, maybe he's older, maybe the eye's starting to go, maybe cataract, something like that. I think we really need to get his eyes checked there, and maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help a lot.
With Guzman, the first year he was, like Casey said, he's a very technical player. He's very technically gifted, and year one he was very good defensively, and that's where his strength lies. If you look back at year one, he wasn't really giving the ball away as much as he has been this season. There's definitely been a decline in his level of play. I think we can all agree to that. Like season one was his best year with us, and
I still didn't like him then.
Yeah, you guys didn't like him then, and so you look at the stats. I know USL Championships website is terrible at keeping statistics, but if you look at his possession rate, his distribution, he does a lot of good things, but for whatever reason, there's like this mental block this year, and he's not making the same crispness of his passes.
Yeah.
He's not making the same reads, and I don't know what the answer is to that. And maybe Casey can help us out here. Like how much of it, and when you're in a stretch like this, how much of that mental aspect of the game comes out on the pitch? Like how much does it affect your play?
I mean, it can affect a lot, honestly. Like if you're just not all there, or you're overstressed or overthinking because you're not winning, you're not performing, it just builds up, and at that point you're not having fun. It just shows in the field. Like playing soccer should be fun. You know what I mean? That's why they do it, because they love it and because it's fun to them.
Casey, do you watch Ted Lasso?
I do.
Okay. Are you caught up?
Yeah.
So you've seen the episode where Roy Kent takes Isaac to the playground and says soccer's supposed to be fun, and
Yeah.
and that's what the team needs right now. They need to go play with some kids, get their asses kicked by some kids because they're too stressed, and realize, oh, we just need to loosen up and have some fun. That's what the team needs, because they, especially when it gets later in games, I think that's why you're seeing a lack of finishing, because they're just so tight. They just have so much pressure on them. And Casey, I've had this thought almost since year one. There was a stretch during year one where we couldn't seem to hold a lead at home, and I know that playing in front of, back then, it was 15, 12,000 fans. This year it's been a little less, obviously, because of the pandemic and stuff, but there's still 8, 9, 10,000. What did they capped it recently, didn't they, Seth?
9,500.
Okay. I have thought that they have had a problem harnessing that, and at times I felt like it's actually hurt them, because they get tight at the end of matches trying to protect a lead or get a lead and win one for these 9,000 fans. As somebody, I know that the runners haven't played in front of 12,000, but does the fan energy ever get to where it's a negative?
It can be and it can't be. Like, it just depends how players take it, but it just seems like they're more stressed in general because they know they should be doing better, but they're not. Like, they're not doing bad. Like, I don't think they're doing awful, but I think they can do better, and they're just putting that extra stress.
Yeah.
Because I played at the Kansas City Comets in like 2 years ago, and I played in front of 18,000 fans, and it lit me up. That's probably one of the best games I've played in my life. So I feel like the fans give you the energy, but I think they have that extra stress and extra, like, back of the mind. We gotta win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like you said, I don't think they've been playing bad necessarily. It's, you can look at a lot of these matches that we haven't got results and point to like a 5-minute stretch where we just turned off or something like that. And actually the Phoenix match, the first half, Seth, I think, texted it to us that he thought that might have been the best half of soccer that we've played all year. And it just comes down to scoring that second goal. And because I threw some stats out last week where, when we score 2 or more goals, we're phenomenal. We're averaging like 2.5 points a match. But if we score 1 or fewer, it's pretty grim. And I think most teams are probably along those same lines with when they score 1 or more, or 2 or more, I mean. But I think if we could just find a match where we score 2. I know the scoreboard said 2 against Phoenix, but that second one, let's be honest, that was a complete gift, and was really just a cross that had nothing on the end of it. There was nobody there. There's no chance of it actually being threatening. It's just Rawls decided to punch it into his own player's nuts and then into the back of the net. So I think if they can just get 2 goals scored where it's like, okay, that was nice, there we go, they can kind of find their groove. And I hope that it happens Saturday, because, man, if you think United Nation is a toxic place right now, if we don't get a result on Saturday, it is going to be insane in that Facebook group. I will probably even have to step out because it's bad in there now.
Honestly, the last couple of games that they've all, like you said, there's like a 5-minute span where they're all scared to like mess up, and then they start messing up. It's not they're just all like, oh shoot, I don't want to be the guy that messes it up for us, or that's kind of what it looks like to me as watching us as a spectator. I feel like they're scared to mess up, to lose the game for the fans, and then they end up messing up, like I said, because they put that extra stress. So
yeah,
it really is.
I think the 3 El Paso matches, other than the 0-0, but the 2 that we had a lead in, we had a lead in all 3, but the 2 that we had a really, really late lead, and then the one where they scored 2 inside of 2 minutes, I think you can look at both of those, all 4 of those goals, and almost draw a direct conclusion to they were playing tense. They were playing because they really wanted that 3 points, and they, Schmidt's foot gets in the way. I think Tambakis probably clears that if Schmidt doesn't make the play on it, but he's trying to make the play because he's trying to not let them score. So instinct is going to say, move your foot in front of the ball. And it just so happened that he was a second slow and kicked it into the net. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So I'm with you there that it does. That's what it seems like. And it sounds like you're definitely not hashtag Troy out, at least not yet. But I will say that I do think they're playing tense, but there are things through 3 seasons that are very consistent in a negative way that kind of lead back to Troy. And so I don't want to let Troy off the hook completely. I think there are things like playing Guzman, for instance, however many thousand minutes he's played for us. That's on Troy. So, but
you can't forget the last 2 seasons where he did really well and everybody praised him. Oh, he was this and he was that, and he's having a little spell right now. That's what we call it in soccer, a little dry spell. And I just think they're hard on him. Like, I think he's still doing a good job, but like I said, I think he's trying to get the results for the people because that's what they're asking for. So he has to push a little bit higher and play with. So like, why is he playing with 3? Because he's trying to get the win for you guys.
right.
Like, that's what he is. He's not doing it because for him, you can just park the bus and just tie it, like whatever. But you're asking for a win, and probably Peter's asking for a win, so he's trying to press now and play with 3. And I think signing Salid back is gonna help him a lot because losing Salid, I like Salid a lot.
Yeah.
He plays, he's strong, he's fast, he's good in the air, he's good with his feet. So I think that's a great add to the team, honestly. And Weeham was another great add too. Like, he's already made a big impact. So putting Salid in the middle, I think center defender would be perfect because then at that point he knows that Salid's fast, can win balls in the air. He's been with the team, knows what he likes. So I think that was a great for him to come back too.
Yeah, did we talk about that last week, or was that after last week's episode?
Salid was signed after we recorded last week.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we did bring Salid back from Oakland on a rest of the season loan. In exchange, we sent Brian Brown to Oakland for a rest of the season loan. My understanding is that both players are signed with their parent clubs through next year.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this year, Salid will go back to Oakland. Brian will come back here. My guess is probably Brian gets loaned out somewhere else again. It did not work. We heard from Troy. We heard from Peter. We saw it with our own eyes. Brown just for whatever reason didn't mesh with from the wording that I read was the fit wasn't what Brian Brown thought it was going to be, and it wasn't what Troy thought it was going to be. So I think there was a lack of communication when we signed him as to what was expected of him, and that led to, because we've been told he had an injury for weeks. He was never on the injury report. Well, he wasn't never on the injury report. He just hasn't been on the injury report during this time. So I thought something fishy was going on for a while, and it turns out that it was. So that transaction, bringing Salid back, I think everybody can agree that that's great. I think of Salid like a more reined in Tenari. Like, he's still going to be a bulldog for you. He's still going to go out there. He's going to win balls. He's going to put in some hard tackles when he needs to. But I don't feel like Salid will get stupid yellows like Tenari has in the past. I think he'll be smarter about when he has a hard tackle. And I loved Tenari last year. I thought he was my MVP for most of the season last year. I thought he brought just a huge toughness there. But this year he's just been a little too crazy and making dumb mistakes. So Salid will definitely help that. But losing Brown, I think, really hurts as far as our scoring chances up top. I felt like when he was in, I liked what I saw from him, and Sandoval, I love him, and he has scored. Recently, he had that header against Austin.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was
Oakland.
the U18 team. The guys from Oregon. What are they called?
Tacoma.
Yeah.
No.
Was
So
it against Tacoma?
no, I think it was because it was that.
Yeah, he got one against Oakland.
Yeah, he got the one against
Oakland.
Oakland. off of a beautiful Najim service. So, but I just, especially with Amando being out for World Cup qualifying, and Illich apparently is knocked up now. It's basically Sandoval and Weehan, and then we try to patch it together with Rivas or Martinez or somebody. So losing an attacking piece when you have very little right now kind of hurts. But overall, I'm excited to see Salih back in the on the pitch for us and in the 18, hopefully in a few days.
Yeah, let's get Earl back in here. We haven't heard from Earl in a few minutes. Earl, two questions for you. First of all, looking back at Saturday, are there any positives that you can see the club taking out of that and using those going forward? And two, with the signing of Salih, do you think that is a JPG replacement? Do you think we see JPG getting fewer minutes now, or do you think Troy still finds some way to keep him in there?
So the positives of the match is we didn't draw. So you didn't have to go find yourself a 6 tie. So that's a plus. We did save you about $8.
Yeah.
No, but in all reality, the positives of the match is we did score goals. Sergio Rivas played really freaking good. Dev played really good too. I'm kind of surprised to see him not come off in the sometime in the second half for more speed. But that's neither here nor there. The Salih signing and him coming back, I can only hope that it's a sign of JPG to the bench, or less JPG. Unfortunately, like I said before, for some reason, JPG has something on Troy that he has to start every week, and it's an ongoing blood contract that the only way JPG gets the bench is if Troy's not there.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint exactly. We've talked about it at length tonight. We've talked about it in other episodes. JPG just not performing. Salih coming. I think Salih could be someone that helps. Give him. Slot him in there instead of JPG. Maybe put him beside Tenari. Maybe a Salih Azira midfield. I think that could be a lot of fun to watch. I think those guys are both very good on and off the ball. Azira, obviously, a ton of footballing knowledge, a guy who has been around for a while and can make some defensive plays. So I think we could see some different lineups there going forward, and hopefully on Saturday, when we are back at the lab, we do see Salih get at least a nod in the 18, and he didn't get a chance to get a pop when Oakland was here a couple weeks ago, and I think if he's in the 18 on Saturday, I think the crowd really welcomes him back, and Saturday night, as we know, is going to be a huge match against Colorado Springs. I mean, this is basically a 6-point match right here between us and them, and we've played them tough. We figured out Haji Berry the last time we faced them, and I think Troy basically knows how to shut these guys down from this point now. Looking at Saturday's night, is there anything that we need to see from the guys on the pitch or from Troy in his tactics in order for us to pick up a win?
A healthy Kalen Ryden would help. I know he came on in the second half there, but on that the third goal, the Santi goal, I can't help but watch that and think, man, if Kalen is 90% fit, he's getting back and at least getting in front of Santi there. But he looked like Schmidt lumbering back trying to catch up, and that's not good for our future matches if Kalen can't get back to 100%. So and especially against Taji Berry and company, that's a huge thing. We need Kalen back to 100%, because I think if we had a back line of a healthy Kalen, and then the way Sheed and Yearwood are playing right now, that's more than enough to at least slow down Haji Berry. I mean, we saw I think it was that lineup the last time we played Colorado Springs, and Haji still got one, but it was that was it, just the one, and nobody else really got going. So that back line to me is massive for this coming match, especially going up against such a. I think they'll have the. I know they have the most goals scored in the USL this year, and that's pretty obvious when you have the leader of the Golden Boot race by like 6 goals in Haji Berry.
Earl, what do you need to see Saturday from the guys?
It's hard to say. I mean, what we need to see is what we haven't seen, or what we need to see is not what we've seen the past few matches other than Phoenix, because we played a pretty good game with Phoenix, minus a couple dry spots that we just gave it up. If we can see at least 75 minutes of tenacity and just hunger to score goals, I see us walking out with 3.
All right, Casey, from your perspective, same question to you. What do you think the guys need to do on Saturday? Is there a player that you see on Colorado that they need to key in on? Obviously Haji Berry is the big one. Is there anyone else that they need to kind of focus on, or what do they need to do?
I'm gonna go back to Pablo Guzman. I would like to see Sergio Rivas play a spot. I used to play with Sergio back with the Soul, and that's the spot he used to play. And the guy sees the game totally differently. So I think that would be a good replacement for Juan. Sit him down, put Sergio Rivas there, because if you notice, he's very calm on the ball. He has very good through balls. He does stupid things here and there, but it's not like Guzman does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he gets more of yellow cards, like talking or going in super hard. And I think he would do very, very well. And
Well, did we lose Casey? Did we lose Seth?
No, I'm here.
What's going on?
Casey, there he is.
scoring. Yeah, Haji Berry she's a scoring machine right now this season. So yeah, it's the only
I think-
thing to worry about.
I think going back to what Casey said a while back, I think we just need to have fun. I think they need to go out and have fun and play loose, and I think that's the only way that this is gonna get turned around, is if they relax and don't tense up and put the ball in the back of the net and just smile. Like, you see after, which goal was it? I think it was Moreno's, the third one against Colorado Springs, the first time we played him. Or maybe that was Austin. It was one of the first games in the year at home. We scored 3 goals, and the last one was a Moreno header, believe it or not. And the joy that we saw after that goal, we need more of that. We need more of that for sure. So hopefully we can get 2 or 3 across the line and loosen these guys up, because I think that'd go a long way towards turning this season around.
All right, guys. I think that's going to just about wrap up our discussions regarding these 2 matches. Let's get our scoreline predictions for Saturday night. Earl, we'll start with you.
3-0 us.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm calling nil, because I have zero faith in
Oh my
Tanaka's
God.
blocking
Are you-
anything.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Ah.
I don't have faith in him holding a clean sheet. But I'm gonna take a gamble and call it 3.
He has 5 on the year. 5. Oh, this is. I can't even talk right now.
More in a single season than Cody ever had. So,
I stand by 3-0.
all right.
If we know anything about Earl, is he's a stubborn son of a bitch. So that shouldn't surprise me, even though he just had a professional goalkeeper say that Timbuktus was doing good and justified a lot of the things that Earl doesn't like. He's still going to be in his bubble, I guess.
No. I am totally with Casey. And I have taken my step back on him coming out of the box. I'll let him roam the pitch as much as he wants. Shit, he can go grab a fucking coffee if he wants. It's cool with me. But I still don't have faith in him at this point getting a clean sheet, but I'm gonna call for one.
All right, there you have it. Earl's got it down as 3-0 for Saturday. Jacob,
I don't even know.
let's get your prediction.
Oh. Hold on. I've got to compose myself after Stephen A. Earl is just wilded over there. I'm torn because I also want to predict a clean sheet, but then I look at Haji Berry and think, I don't know if we can stop that attacking offense right now. The way we've been not necessarily giving up on.
But Tim Buckets can block it, right?
This is our life, Casey. This is our life right here. He has proven that he cannot stop that particular guy. So I will say 2-1 us.
You know, I think I have to go with Jacob here. I like the 2-1 score line. I think Colorado is a team that we can score on. We have scored on them this year.
Wait, sorry. What am I doing? We've played this team 3 times, and it has been 3-1 every time. I'm going 3-1.
Okay. There you go. Keep with it. All right. So yeah, I do like the 2-1 scoreline. Both, we've scored, they've scored, and I think that we've just about figured out how to shut down Haji Berry and Michi Galina. I mean, those guys are tremendous in the attacking third. They've got a ton of pace. Berry, obviously, the Golden Boot leader right now, and so that's why I don't think we keep the clean sheet. But I have faith in Alex. I have faith that he's going to make some stops. He made some tremendous stops on Saturday night. But I think this is a club that we've figured out to an extent. And so I'm going to go 2-1 us on Saturday night. And we'll close out our predictions with Casey. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm gonna say a 4-3 game.
4-3? Wow.
Oh, I love it. If it's that and we're on the winning side, I'll be happy.
I mean, because Haji Berry's on fire. That boy can score. I don't care. I mean, no goalie in the league has been able to stop the man. And he scored more than 1 goal. It's crazy.
It is. It really is.
I think it's gonna be like the first time they played here in the Springs, where it was back and forth. Like that was a sweet game.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I like it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good stuff when these two teams are on the pitch, and so Saturday night's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be back at the lab. They do have the mask mandates back for at least for us anyway. So in the box we will have our masks on. But
for you, I ain't
for me,
in that
yeah,
box this
and
year.
For you.
and which is fine by me. That's fine with me. I'm doing what I can to keep myself and my family safe and those around me, safe and healthy as well. So, I'm good with it. That's the club's decision. And, we mentioned earlier, they decided to cut back on the attendance, going to 9,500. And so, I think Saturday night's going to be packed out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what happens. Before we do get out of here and close out our show, there is one question in the chat that was asked, and from Joshua Correa. Josh and I kind of talked about it this morning on the Morning Mix. As we know, Mayor Tim Keller is very much pro stadium bond and getting a stadium built for United. Mayoral candidate Manny Gonzalez has come out and basically said that money should go for other things. We know that the bond vote will be on the ballot in November. How much of an impact do you think the mayoral race is going to have on that bond vote? Or even if the bond does get approved in November, do we think if there is a change in the mayor's office that the funding goes away?
I'm not privy enough to politics to understand what would happen if it passes, but there is a change. I would like to think that as long as it passes, whoever's in there will look at it and say, okay, the people voted, the people want it. We'll go ahead and go through with it no matter who's in there. But I don't really care as long as we get a stadium of some kind, or at least a plan for one, because I do not want to lose this club. And we're starting to get to a point where that could be the case if it doesn't pass or if something gets kiboshed, whether it's via the actual election or the mayor.
I think they should build a stadium. It creates more jobs for people in Mexico. You know what I mean? We're probably one of the biggest cities in New Mexico. We should have a stadium just like every other city in the country has a big stadium.
Yeah.
It even has to be that big. It can be 10,000 or even 9,000 like they have it now. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be nothing massive. That way it feels packed every single game. Just like Austin. Have you seen Austin Stadium? It's not that big, but it looks like it's packed every game because it's not that big.
I'm assuming we're talking about Austin FC and not Austin Bold, because I've seen Austin Bold Stadium and it looks empty all the time. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be relocating Austin Bowl to somewhere else, is what the rumor was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the rumor
I
is
think that's
Fort
gonna
Worth.
Oh, okay. Makes more sense though.
Earl, do you think there's going to be any sort of impact by this?
Yeah, unfortunately, I see Manny Gonzalez, if he wins, pretty much just overlooking that bond, regardless of how many votes. It could be a unanimous vote. Every person in Albuquerque could vote for it. And I see Manny Gonzalez saying, no, it's not going to happen. That money should be used for funding
But
police, for military needs, and whatnot.
can he do that though? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
So what's the point of voting then?
Exactly.
Well,
So as mayor, he can veto or line item veto anything that's voted on. Whether it goes up for constituent vote or whether it's council vote, whatever the case may be, Manny or whoever's the mayor can veto whatever he wants.
man, that puts people in a tough predicament if they don't like Keller for other reasons, but they want the stadium. That's going to be interesting. I do not envy Albuquerque people anyways, because I would hate to live in Albuquerque. But when it comes to this election, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. At the end of the day, I just want a stadium. That's all I want. I'd say, especially since I don't live in Albuquerque and I don't have to deal with the other day-to-day things that the mayors will have to change or could change. The only thing that affects me really is the stadium. And Seth's safety, of course. Seth's safety is big, especially where he lives. Like that.
Yeah,
that scares me.
He picked, of all places in Albuquerque, there's literally 17 miles of Albuquerque, and you picked the worst fucking spot.
I will say though, that apartment
Yes.
complex, that apartment complex is nice and it is gated, and inside the fence looks like a completely different area, but.
And by war zone, it's like Tennessee and Central war zone. Like it's
That's the worst of the worst.
It's not that bad. It's I'm right by the lumberjack. Casey, I'm sure Casey knows where we're talking. Yeah, I'm right by the lumberjack in Albuquerque. So, I lived off Gibson when I first moved to Albuquerque, and so, there's a decent apartment complex right over there, right by the VA, and like
Seth's just a thug out here. That's what it boils down. He's a freaking gangster. That's what he is. He's a gang leader out there. He's an OG.
living at that place. I actually saw some people get into an altercation. One guy pulled a gun, but I haven't seen. I mean, granted, I've only been here a couple months now. I haven't seen anything happen. The worst I've seen is a kid nearly fall out of a tree. So
you know why you haven't seen anything happen?
Because he doesn't leave the house.
Because there's no fucking streetlights on that road, so that's why.
Oh, it's dark, so there's shit happening. You just can't see it. That's what.
No, I will admit
fucking
there are.
happening.
There are a lot of folks, wandering the streets, and I've nearly, I've had people walk out and nearly get, walk in front of my car and things like that. And I don't, there are places where they're just walking the streets all times, a day and night, or like you can see people just like passed out on the side of the road, and but no,
the only thing you have going for your neighborhood is there's that dude that's over there by, I can't even it's just east of yours. He's the barbecue guy.
Oh, Padrell's.
No, not Mr.
No.
Padrell's.
Oh.
This is just like a little smoke trailer. The dude, he works at the store. It's a little shopping center.
Oh, okay.
He works at the store, and he's on the street, and he sells drugs in the store, but sells barbecue turkey legs on the street.
I'm so happy you know he sells drugs at the store. Have you bought
Yeah.
them?
No, but I've seen it happen.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He knows the guy that knows the guy.
Well, I know the guy that sold the guy. So
Anyways,
no.
before we get anybody arrested on this podcast,
Yeah.
Casey, where are you from?
I'm from El Paso, Texas, but I lived in Albuquerque since I was 11. So
Okay. Okay.
I moved, I came back. I moved, I came back.
I wasn't sure because you said you knew where he was talking about, but I wasn't sure if you were from here or at least lived here at least a little bit.
I lived in the nice parts of town, you know, with all the nice white people.
But hey,
The
man,
Heights.
even the Northeast Heights isn't safe this year. So you know, I mean, there was that robbery up at Dutch Brothers last week. So
Well, that's because people see the lines of cars outside of Dutch Brothers and thinks that there's just thousands and thousands of dollars inside. That's all that is.
Well, because there is.
No, everybody uses card. Everybody uses card.
Oh, yeah, there's $1,000 outside. My bad.
Yeah, exactly.
all right, guys, I think that's going to do it for our discussions this evening. Before we do get out of here, Casey, thank you so much for being here, being a part of the show. We appreciate you coming on, taking some time out of your new dad life and hanging out with us and talking some United. And you gave us some great insights. Appreciate you being here. Where can people follow you, follow the runners? Again, let's have you plug that again before we get out of here.
Yeah, you go to the New Mexico Runners on Facebook and Instagram. Just New Mexico Runners, and then, like I said, tryouts are in October. Season starts in December. I'll be out there. So I'll probably have 2 more years with the Runners. I think that's what I'll end up doing, and then I'll probably call it quits after that. I think if it let me. Yeah, telling me I got 5 more years. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this with Andres. You're not leaving.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I think I don't want to leave either. So it's hard. I love the team. I think we're gonna do very well this season. We have some pretty good talent coming in. They've already reached out. If you like goals, there's a lot of goals, between 12 to 15 goals a game. It's pretty awesome. It's entertaining. Laser shows. We got Rio.
Yeah, we do. Fuck that bird.
Yeah, right. Bro, you can't even score on a bird, and you're just
Fucking cheater. Fucking cheater.
But yeah, it should be fun. You're gonna get season tickets. You get them off New Mexico New Mexico Facebook. You can get the link and all that good stuff. But yeah, we're excited to start. They actually grew the league grew by like 10 teams, so there's 4 divisions now. So
Oh wow.
it's expanding and it's building like kind of like the USL, where there's a first tier, second tier, third tier, and then fourth tier. But it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's getting more organized and I like it. It's fun. Stadium's awesome.
Good.
The only part is that you gotta drive to Berkeley. But
Yeah.
what I tell people, you already drive on Sundays anyways to go play your soccer games on Sundays and take your kids on Saturdays, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely have to get out there and check out a match. I like Seth have not been out there for one. Just that first year, I was crazy enough. Trying to do this paper and everything like that. And then having at that time I had one kid when the season started, and then my second was born in April of that year during one of the United matches. So I just didn't get a chance to get out there. So me and Seth will definitely have to come and check it out, and I look forward to it for sure.
Yeah, it'll be exciting and hope to see you guys out there.
Yeah,
Well, wait.
we'll
What about me? What the fuck?
What?
well, you've been to one, haven't you?
No.
Oh,
I was supposed to go to the Landon Donovan game, but then couldn't.
Okay. So me and Earl and Seth are looking forward to come out there. We haven't been out there yet, and we can't wait. So we're excited to get out there too.
Well, make sure you sit next to the goal because I usually throw some gloves out.
All right, very cool. All right, guys, that's gonna. Oh, yeah, something else, Jacob.
Can Earl take your place for like 5 minutes just to see what goalie is actually about?
Actually, I already got the approval from Andres, and I can.
Awesome. I cannot wait for this. In fact, you know what, Earl? Here's what I suggest.
What the fuck?
We need to have a penalty shootout. Me and you. You take the shots, I play keeper, and then you play keeper, and I take the shots, and see what happens.
Look, last time I made a deal like this, I got fucked over. So
That was against a bird. Okay.
so it was against a bird, and actually, you can stop the recording right now, Seth, if you want. I do have it. Go ahead, Jacob.
I haven't finished the podcast, but we can bleep it. It's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
There's this thing called editing.
Yeah, I can cut it if you need me
yeah.
to.
So there is this is the point where we're gonna have to edit. There is a point in time on that Saturday morning that I did get a goal past Mr. Casey. Just putting that out there. It's on video.
A fucking giant helmet.
It's on video.
Well, this
gets
will
it.
happen. This will happen at some point. Earl, we will do this. We'll put $100 to a charity on the line, and it'll be fantastic. And it should happen at halftime of a Runners game, I think, just because that'd be fun.
I think we can make that happen. And I got money on Jeff.
God.
I put $100 that Jeff wins.
Who's Jeff?
You mean Jacob? Yeah, there we
There
go.
we go.
I mean, we can call Jacob Jeff if you want. Like, that's fine with me.
That sounded better. I don't know. Sorry, Jacob.
It's okay. I get called everything. So, all right. I think we're good. Any final thoughts, guys? Anything?
No.
Anything? All right, Casey. Again, thanks. It's always nice to have somebody come on and rip Earl a new one. And I can't wait for the runner season to start. And like I said, we'll get out there to a match for sure, maybe a couple. And guys, I have a great time doing this. I love doing it. We do it for fun mainly, but for those of you listening, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, click the little bell or subscribe and click the bell. I don't know what they say, but do that, and then leave some reviews, comments, questions, anything there. You guys know where to find us. And until next week, guys, Somos.
Your name is definitely Jeff.
I am leaving that part in. That's fantastic.
Yes, it should. It should. The podcast should end right after that.
Yes.
It's just right there.
We can do that. All right, YouTube, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Harry, Josh, appreciate you guys being here, throwing the questions and comments up in the chat. YouTube, again, we'll be here the plan is next Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, of course, and then the podcast will go live on Thursday. The plan is Thursday afternoon. We'll get that out. So appreciate you guys.